This is Charlie Parsons for the Stomping Ground, powered by Wow Hydrate and available on DAZN. Are you having a nice look at the microphone?
Yeah, I like it. I like the logo, mate.
Thanks, mate.
No problems. How are you?
Simple is key. I'm good, thanks. How are you?
Good, mate.
I've missed the Matchroom lot. I can't lie.
This mic cover smells like cigarettes.
Does it?
Smell it.
No.
It does.
Oh, you've got a better sense of smell than me. I do smoke here and there, but not into my mic cover.
Not into your mic cover. No. I've seen your lifestyle recently. Have you ever been
that might be the cigar.
Have you been on a jet with a cigar, mate? Have you ever been on a jet with a cigar? Living the dream, aren't you, Charles?
We're trying.
You are trying. Yeah.
How is life with you?
Amazing.
Amazing.
You
know that this is a funny place for us.
Why?
Because what am I saved as in your WhatsApp?
Iranian Prince of Carpets.
And that was where this name was born.
Yeah, because you told me that you knew some people in Monaco.
I do.
But you said, I know some people in Monaco. I was like, I do. He was like, yeah, the royal family. And I was like, the royal family of Monaco, okay? So I was like, well, they're coming to the show, so we'll speak to them. And then it transpired that actually who you knew was an Iranian man, was a friend of theirs, and he was he had a carpet shop, so we changed your name to the Iranian Prince of Carpets.
Rather than the Prince of Monaco, which I initially thought.
Yeah, you told me it was the Prince of Monaco.
Yeah, I did, yeah.
It was close, though.
I was a bit misinformed by my family, I think.
It's all right, though.
I'm actually meeting my cousin, shout out Dean.
Shout out
this
Dean.
week in Monaco.
Shout out Dean,
I'll
the
tell
carpet
him
man.
about the... No, he's not.
No? Massive in the rug trade.
No. He's got a sick shop, actually, in Monaco.
Yeah, I know. You went before you told me about it.
Work in progress. Interior design store.
Yeah, I've seen it. It looks amazing.
Oh, have you seen it?
Yeah.
You
No, but life's good, mate. Living a dream.
How was Puerto Rico?
It's all right. Sunny. Good show. Good night.
One extreme to the other, innit? Puerto Rico to Monaco.
Look, I said in an interview I did last week, I said it very much beats the days of Goresbrook Leisure Centre in Dagenham, Widnes Leisure Centre and Newport Leisure Centre. All places that I've spent a lot of time and love. But let's be honest.
You don't love Newport.
What do you mean I don't love Newport?
Come on, Francis. And that's
Have you ever been to Goresbrook?
Where's that?
Near Dagenham.
No, my Essex knowledge isn't great, if I'm honest.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying I don't like it. I'm just saying Monte Carlo, Puerto Rico, Riyadh, like, let's be honest. The days when I was coming through, like the humble days of leisure centres back in 15 years ago, those times have definitely changed. And I don't think you all realise, everyone in the sport, what a touch.
Oh, no, we're absolutely having it off.
Yeah, especially you. You are like literally. I was in Dubai.
I don't speak like that.
And then I was in Abu Dhabi on the boat, and then I got the plane across
to Bahrain.
Shout
out the Prince of Bahrain.
I was out there with the Prince of Bahrain.
Let me just pick that one up.
Yeah. Just fucking. You'll be picking them up all day. Surprised you can do interviews with all the names you're dropping.
Says you.
I'm just repeating what you said. I haven't dropped a single name.
No, very true. We're here in Monte Carlo.
We are.
It's an annual thing, kind of.
Yeah, no, it is. It's annual.
Other than like
with the break during COVID, we started back in 2017. This is our 5th year of the tournament, and yeah, it's great. It's great to be back here. It means a lot to us, doing a show here. To be allowed to do a show here, working with the Principality, working with SBM, the casino to put it together. Obviously, Prince Albert, a big supporter of boxing. Mike Whitstock as well. So yeah, it's good to be back.
The cards were always very international. How do you go about sort of? Because this one, I mean, they always come across as a bit random, but not in a disrespectful. But you know what I mean.
No, I think look,
you've got an Australian heavyweight. You've got
our business is a global business, and that's what I think attracts. We do a lot of site deals. We work with a lot of different countries and governments, and it's a thing when we sit down with Monaco. It's very much driven by what territories are they interested in as well. What territories make sense for them to target. So over the years, when you think back at the names that boxing, like Dimitri Bivol headlined here, again, knocked out Trent Broadhurst back in the day. The fighters that have been here, Zhilei Zhang's fought here. We've had 5 shows, probably have had 30 fighters across the shows now.
Didn't you have a great little Russian tear-up for a WBA title?
Besputin against Batayev.
Great fight that was.
So we've done a lot of great shows here over the years, and it's very much a global it's looked at from a global angle. It's not just about British fighters, it's not about Americans. It's looked at as the territories they want to target here. So that's our job to do. And being a global promoter with fighters from all around the world, it makes a lot of sense.
I think obviously with my UK head on, I'm expecting a great fight between Gary Cully and Maxi Hughes. That seems like it can only be a sort of barnstormer, really.
Yeah, look, a brilliant fight and a crossroads fight for both of them, really. Gary Cully's worked his way back up from his defeat. And I think you're going to see a better performance from Gary Cully now with the confidence back. He's had to work his way back through. And before he had that loss, he was knocking people out. It was great performances, and I think you're going to see that again. Maxi Hughes, we all know what Maxi Hughes is about, but this is an opportunity for the winner of this goes on to massive fights. And look, we back Gary. Through tough times as well, and we believe in him. But it's going to be a great fight there. Chev Clark, who's been one of the most active fighters in terms of when you look at the fights he's been in. Boxed in January in Belfast. He boxed on the undercard of Taylor Catterall in May in Leeds. Then he boxed in LA in August. Now he fights for the European title on Saturday in Monaco. So excited for him as well, because it's a big fight. If he can win the European title, he's not far off. I think at back part of next year from challenging for world titles. There's big domestic fights in the cruiserweight division for him as well. So excited for that one. Terra Moana. And when David announces him, Terra Moana again. What?
Just made me laugh. Your blunt sort of
delivery.
Yeah.
It's very, I'm very dry. People don't always quite understand my sense of humour, so it gets lost upon people.
No, I enjoyed that one.
Terra Moana making his Matchroom debut, obviously had 4 fights, but coming off the back of the Paris Olympics, I'm sure people saw clips of him on our social media, fast punching, huge lump. Yeah. He's going to be a danger in the heavyweight division, so he's out as well. My man MJ Akhmadaliev, topping the bill.
They love you, them boys.
Yeah, look, the Uzbeks, look what a run we're on though as well. Shakram Giasov, mandatory for the WBA world title. Israel Madrimov fights Virgil Ortiz in February, coming off the back of the Terence Crawford fight. But MJ, look, MJ's waited a long time to get his shot for the world title. Obviously WBA interim this weekend, but he wants the Inoue fight. And it's not, Inoue, I'm not sure how much he really wants to fight MJ, but, that's the focus, but he's got to get through Saturday night first. And Beatriz Ferreira, our fun Brazilian world champion, coming off the back of, again, the Olympics as well. She went to Paris, looked to try and become the first gold medalist with gold medalist and world champion. She didn't quite get there, unfortunately, but she's got a lot to look forward to in the professional ranks, and always entertaining inside and out of the ring. So excited for the show.
Next week's Monumental. Just quickly, for the people watching this, you can already buy your pay-per-view, DAZN.com/TSG.
You can already buy your pay-per-view,
DAZN.com/TSG.
You can already buy your pay-per-view, DAZN.com.
Okay, fairs. But it is huge.
I don't get paid if you do pies.
No, but you're
Can you give me some money?
Yeah.
DAZN.com/TSG.
We love that. Fury Usyk, the rematch. Yeah. Usyk Fury, really?
Usyk Fury.
Eddie's changed his mind.
Has he?
He's
What's
back
he saying?
in the Brit.
Yeah, look, I think my limited knowledge of boxing, always very open. The first time round, Tyson Fury was leading in that fight after 6 or 7 rounds, and Usyk does what he does. Usyk's a tremendous fighter. Tyson Fury's a brilliant fighter, and they can all beat each other. No, not sitting on the fence, but that is the reality, isn't it? These top 10 guys, like Usyk's a special fighter when you think of what he's done across the weights and in the sport, both amateur and professional. Like, they don't come along like him often. But it was an amazing fight the first time round, and I think this fight is going to deliver exactly the same.
You've not given your prediction in there.
I would love to see Tyson Fury win as a Brit. But I've sat there, I've just said, I've sit on the people, they can all beat each other.
Yeah, but who do you lean towards?
I think Usyk's the favourite. Yeah. Coming off the back of that fight. And I also think lifestyle plays a part into it in terms of like what Tyson Fury has come back. Yeah, but not I'm not saying recently, but obviously what we all know of the years gone by. Like it's a hard sport. So, and there's limited knowledge of obviously Usyk out of Cat, but I think could that play a part into it as well? But I hope Tyson Fury can do it. But it's a tremendous fight, and the first fight was brilliant, and this is going to be no different.
Anthony Joshua, where does he stand right now in terms of, he's obviously not decided to
on the ground, standing up.
Well, it could be on a table or a chair.
I'm not sure of the table. He's quite a big lump.
It could be ceilings this high, and then he could.
Yeah, maybe. Anyway.
In terms of positioning for the next fight, is it, I suppose the way I see it is if Fury wins, there's a trilogy, potentially. And then if he loses, it's the AJ fight. Will he be there next week? What's your head with it all?
I don't know whether he'll be there. You know, he's not that kind of. You know what he's like. He's not that kind of individual who wants to.
Actually, might want him there. In all fairness.
Yeah, I don't know. So I can't answer that one. In terms of what is like, he wants the biggest fights, but he wants to be ready. You know, like when we talk about the Dubois fight, he wouldn't have been ready for the February fight. In terms of the February date, and this is I've said, like, boxers, yes, are all will always, a lot of boxers will go into fights with injuries. Anthony's done it himself, but when you think this is the most important decision of his career now, anything he does has to be 100% right, and if he's not going to be 100% right for a fight, he's not going to do it. So yeah, look, next week's result will, I'm sure, form a part of it. Heavyweight landscape changes daily, doesn't it? You know, like, anything can happen. But it's really just see how things play out and make the best decision for Anthony Joshua.
I think the reason I ask is because my head, with my boxing head screwed on and almost thinking to the future.
You've got a boxing head, have you?
Very small one. Takes up 1% of my actual brain. But we know Eddie's very reactionary with his interviews, and I kind of just already see Eddie, you know, if Usyk's to win that fight, right, Fury, Joshua. And from a business standpoint, we've spoken about it for so long, it feels slightly tiresome even discussing it now with you, but both of them off a loss. It's not the best, but it makes sense.
I kind of think it's irrelevant in terms of the loss. You know, anyone having a loss. We talk about, in this sport, it's about fights people want to see. Forget about losses. Like, how many fighters have lost records, but then big fights can be made. Like, a loss doesn't have the meaning and shouldn't have the meaning people perceive it to have. Anthony Joshua, Tyson Fury is a fight that's been spoken about for many years.
Course.
It's the fight people want to see, regardless of other results. And I think, yeah, can it affect the numbers slightly? Maybe. But who knows? I still think it's one of the biggest fights out there in the sport. So, you know, but let's see how things play out.
Okay. With the Fury Usyk card, obviously Madrimov was meant to fight Bohachik, but it was announced that Madrimov would be fighting Ortiz before they announced the cancellation.
Yeah, it was not aligned. There was no way to. So Madrimov was taking both fights. I mean,
really?
he was fighting on December 21st, and he fell sick. You know, he was training, was ill, but it wasn't a case of the Ortiz fight got locked in and he pulled out because he had the Ortiz fight.
Okay.
Vadim will be here as well. Vadim's here tomorrow. You know, manages Israel, and he can give you that information as well. But it was always the focus. His eyes were fully set on December 21st, and that was his focus. But when he fell ill, he unfortunately wouldn't have been ready for that date.
Ishmael Davis jumps in.
I know. Again, look,
He's such a boyish, isn't he?
Yeah, but he just shows in this sport why being ready, being active, staying in the gym and taking it, acting as a professional is so important. Because look at the opportunities he's given himself. You know, he went close against Josh Kelly in that fight, and a lot of fans that night on just a week's notice, I think it was. But hadn't been, although I'd been in the gym, it was at 160, it wasn't at his natural weight. Here, he'd been training for a fight on December 19th, I think, or 18th.
On the Wednesday.
Yeah, on the Wednesday. Yeah. So, you know, he's ready, and this is a huge opportunity for him.
Did you see Eddie's, I don't want to say clash, because I don't think that's right, but sort of little back and forth with Napa earlier?
No.
Have you not seen it?
No. I've been in meetings.
Oh, that's disappointing. Well, I can get you to react to it, right? It was on IFL. Actually, no, I don't need to. Basically, it seems to be that the reason that you can't, and I think this was explicit from the conversation between the two parties. For those who don't know, Napa is obviously Chris Eubank Jr.'s manager.
Also, Powell, Napa.
Yes, legend.
Powell.
Cool guy, Napa.
Did you see him run out the other week in his tracksuit?
No.
I'll show it to you after.
Okay.
Go on, anyway, keep going.
And it seems to be that you guys value Conor Benn higher commercially than Chris Eubank Jr.
I think, no, we value the fight as a 50-50 split. You know, sometimes it's all good saying Chris has made more money over his career, Chris has done X, Y, Z. It doesn't matter. We're talking about a specific fight. And, you can't compare this to that. And it's a 50-50 fight. They need each other to make that fight that big. One of them doesn't bring more than the other, and that's the reality of it. It's simple. And Chris will have a certain feeling, Conor will have a certain feeling, I'm sure, but it's 50-50. And
I know you've always said that you love to see that fight and you will always want to see that fight. Is it becoming a little bit Fury Joshua style now?
No, I've said it before, and like people might say you're mad, but Conor's in a great position in terms of there's so many fights for him, and he's 28 years old. I said he was 26 in an interview the other day, but 28. Sorry, I forget how old I am. So, but he's 28 years old in a sport where like Chris is 35 years old. Conor could probably have 8. Conor can fight for as long as he wants to, but 6-8 years, and we're being in big fights. Conor doesn't need to take this fight now, if that makes sense. Like, he's going to be in the sport for a long, long time. There's so many big fights for him to have. Chris is at the sort of twilight period of his career where he's probably got a year left, and that's the reality of it.
So are you worried that you may lose the chance for the fight, given that he may only have a year left?
Well, if we lose it, we lose it. But there's loads of other fights. But I've always been personally, myself. Yeah, I'm not saying, but at the same time, there's other options for Conor Benn. So I'm just saying personally, I'd love to do that fight. I think it's huge. We saw when we almost got round to the fight the first time how big it was. You couldn't get away from it. So yes, personally, Frank Smith, I've put so much effort over the years into it. I would love to do it, yes. But it doesn't mean in any way Conor hasn't got options, and Conor's in a great place. So if that fight doesn't happen, Conor can go on so many big fights in the future.
Well, that brings me to my next point. Conor has come out and said 2 offers have gone to Mario Barrios' team. Are you able to sort of give us an update on communications there?
They're ongoing. Eddie's been speaking to his team. And that's the fight Conor Benn has told us to make. Even prior to all this, Conor Benn was saying, I want to fight for the WBC world title. His dad obviously won the belt and he wants to do the same. And he's worked his way, he's in a position where he can get that shot. So let's see. Is
there anything fresh off the lobbying today at the WBC conference regarding Conor Benn?
I haven't seen, all I saw is that Eddie and Jay are on the way here now. Yeah. Jay has been up there lobbying.
Got the old jet flight.
Yeah, they're on the jet over here now. So they had a good day at the convention. So we'll see. But we got so many fighters. Obviously, they're representing out there to get them up the rankings, getting into the mandatory positions.
I've always loved to have gone to a WBC conference. I just think it's ever allotted in. I don't know why I'm telling you that, as if you care. Yeah. But I just think it just seems quite cool that the whole boxing world congregate in that sort of 1 week.
I know. But there's obviously a few of them.
Have you been to many of them?
No, I don't really go.
You've never been? It's more like a matchmaker thing, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm always quite open. I've said a million times in my interviews, I'm not the boxing expert. I never profess to be the boxing expert.
So you ain't lobbying for an extra?
No, I mean, I will do. I can do. You can send me anywhere you want. I'll do anything you need me to do. But at the same time, I know what my strengths are. And my strengths are, well, actually, I'm not sure what they are, to be honest. But there's some.
Still working those out.
Yeah, we're still trying to figure it out.
Conor Benn's come out and said, who knows who Boots is? I was walking around Philly and Miami. Everyone's familiar with the Benn name in the States. Ennis comes to England. No one knows who he is. If you say big names, I don't look at him. I look at Pacquiao, Broner, Kelbrook, Khan. People that people are invested in. Personality. There isn't any of that with Boots.
Look, I think, Conor's obviously thinking long-term as well about an opponent in Boots at some point, I'm sure.
Do you think?
Yeah, I mean,
do those comments suggest that?
No, but I think that's him talking.
Can I have more water, please?
You can have more. Of course, you can have more. You don't have to ask me. Look, Boots has done great numbers in Philadelphia. I think we've always been open about, when you think about Boots' career, he's never had the backing that he deserves. And look at the numbers we've done on the 2 shows with him, with Avanesian in July, with the 2 Kings show, with Bam on there as well in November. I think there's a lot of opportunity, and there's a lot more still to be done with Boots. But yeah, look, he's a big name. He is a big name, and Conor Benn's a massive name.
I take it you're deep in planning for next year.
Deep.
If I were to, I know, to be fair, I've done this with you for what feels like years now when we get to the November-December period.
And I say nothing.
You never give me anything. But I sort of almost tell you what I feel like I know, which is February the 15th, you are trying to make Catterall versus Arnold Barboza Jr.
That'd be a good fight.
Sam Jones has said that Barboza Jr. can't find his pen. Can you? Some offers have been made. Can you elaborate on that? Are you on a meeting? Are you meant to be on a meeting?
No, sorry. I was just checking something. I was just checking if Arnold Barboza had got his pen. That's a fight it's been ordered, obviously, a WBO final eliminator.
For Feb 15?
That's what we're trying to do.
Yeah.
What?
Is that you're waiting on him to sign now, Barboza?
We're trying to make the fight, yeah.
Is that with Liam Smith on the card?
No.
Oh, because there was talk about a potential double whammy, right?
No.
No?
No.
That was online?
Oh, it must be true then.
No, I'm just asking you. That's my job,
Just see
right?
what people are saying about you
I see
online.
what was reported. What are they saying about me? To be fair, the stick is quite funny though, isn't it?
Yeah, they're going for you.
You get it. No, but come on, you get it. So, like...
What do you mean? I don't get it. Everyone loves me.
Yeah.
No one says a bad word about me. I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay, so then Feb 22nd. We haven't even spoke about Feb 22nd.
We haven't.
Jesus Christ.
How long you got? Unbelievable. What a show. Top to bottom. What a night. Dimitri Bivol gets his chance to become undisputed champion that he truly deserves. You know, I think he won the first fight. It was a close fight, but fair play to Artur Beterbiev jumping straight back in there in that fight. Just sensational.
Not fighting Jake Paul instead.
Yeah, I mean, I would like to see Artur Beterbiev fight Jake Paul.
Yeah, I think a lot of us would, to be fair.
I'm here for that, mate. Callum Smith gets his chance against Joshua Boatzy. You know, great fight there. WBO interim title. Shakur Stevenson, Floyd Schofield. You know, Shakur Stevenson, a special.
Why not Cordina?
I think Floyd Schofield was the fight that was being worked on for a while. I saw there was talk last minute at Cordina, but that was the fight that was being worked on and spoken about.
Is that from His Excellency point of view, or?
I think, look, obviously, as you know, the Riyadh season cards are put together by His Excellency, and it's the best. You know, they're always putting together the cards they want to see. So it's a brilliant fight, though. You know, there was talk about Floyd Schofield being too young, but he's 18 now. I think he's 22 years old. He's the age Shakur was when he won the world title. Shakur's young himself as well. So, you know, but I think that's been sort of pushed to the side now in terms of all that rubbish they were talking. You've got Israel Madrimov, Virgil Ortiz.
Great fight.
Tremendous fight.
Jean Caballel
opening the card. Hamza Shiraz against Carlos Adames. Like, what a card. Top to bottom. Sensational.
Big up Huge Boxing on Friday night.
Big up Huge
Is
Boxing.
this a Matchroom? Are you guys involved with it?
No, Charlie's doing it.
There's no Matchroom involvement there.
Not really. We helped in certain ways. We've got fighters on the card, but Charlie's running the show. Charlie's putting it all together. You know, he said to me about doing a show. I went, God, you must be mad wanting to become a promoter. But yeah, he's good luck to him. He's a close mate of mine. As much as we argue about work, he's a close mate of mine. So best of luck. And I think he's done a great job with it. I think it's looked great. And yeah, excited for it.
When do you expect your first show to be next year? I know that you were targeting an early January show for Liam Smith, but he said he wouldn't have been ready for then. Do you expect to do something in that absence?
Maybe not that date. Definitely January. There's a few. We're looking at 3 shows in January.
3 shows in January across the world. I assume that's already including the Opataya show.
No, 4 shows in January.
Are you going to that?
No.
Is Eddie going to that?
Possibly.
Really? Cool, that's heavy at the start of the year, isn't it?
Not in first class.
True. 3 shows in Jan?
4 shows, including Opataya.
UK, how many?
Who knows?
Oh, come on, Frank.
No. I forget. Look, isn't that enough?
All right, well, Connor said that... So Connor must be the 8th of Feb then.
Connor
Ben against Barrios at the O2.
Oh,
He said Feb. I'm doing process of elimination here, so you've got an issue.
You've gone from January into February
because
now,
you're not giving me anything for January.
I
Right?
have. I've just told you 4 shows.
4 shows.
Yeah. So you just said I haven't given you
11th, 18th. No, you must be going on the 4th then. Are you going with a show on the 4th of Jan?
No.
So unless there's a Mexican show creeping in on a Friday,
mate, let it be surprise.
No.
Why? Why can't anything be a surprise anymore?
Because it's not. Because I do this interview and then all of a sudden Matey Boy goes and breaks it online tomorrow and it's fucking pointless.
Who's Matey Boy?
I'm just giving an example. Kai Peacock's no longer waiting for me.
Who's Matey Boy?
Just giving an example of people leaking things and then I could have had
How
first
does Matey
dibs.
Boy know?
Matey Boy might know.
Yeah, Matey Boy doesn't know.
Conor Benn, February 02.
Let's see.
That's what he said.
Okay.
Yeah?
Let's
No.
see. Let's just calm. Just see. Let's just see how things play out. Let's just relax, and we'll play the game. And
Fine.
I know nothing. They don't tell me anything.
That's a lie.
Don't
You
involve
are
me in the
one
big
that
decisions.
orchestrates things. That's such a lie.
They're like that in the background.
Lastly,
Yes.
what did you make of Tommy Fury pulling out the Darren Till fight? And then, I know you don't give a shit, but this is just us having a chat now. And then John Fury's gone online and now calling out Logan Paul, and everyone's like, just fight Darren. Like,
What, John Fury against Darren Till?
no, I mean, that would be great, though, wouldn't it? Jesus Christ, that'd be fantastic.
I'm not saying anything about John Fury. I think he's a great guy. And I'm not getting in trouble with John Fury.
Tommy,
however. I don't know what Tommy's doing. Like, that would have been a great fight. I would have watched Darren Till against Tommy Fury. I'm a bit shocked, but he's blaming the fact he said he was going to kick him in the head. Although I don't really think Darren Till was going to kick him in the head, to be honest.
No, and
Oh, it would have been great. I would have tuned in. I think Darren Till would have beat Tommy Fury.
So that must free up a UK date for you, unless they go on that date still, Misfits.
I don't know, mate. I heard you were going to have a Misfits fight.
Yeah.
Against HS Tiki Toki.
No, fucking hell, he'd absolutely murder me.
I don't think he would.
He's like 6'3".
I don't think he would.
Thanks,
I don't
mate.
think he's got it in the locker.
Really?
I think he's all talk.
That'd be brilliant. Well, he's already stopped someone in a round.
Who?
George Fensom.
Oh, Fensom, yeah.
Big
The Fensom
name.
mater.
Yeah, Fensom.
The YouTube guy.
Yeah. No, he was like a weird OnlyFans geezer, to be fair.
Oh. Well, yeah, but look at you. I mean, you're...
Chiseled.
Yeah, chiseled.
Beast. No, I was
chiseled.
in Qatar.
Yeah.
Would you have watched?
Yeah.
You would have watched, wouldn't you?
How much were you getting? Really? That much?
It was Middle East. Francis, it cut off there, but we were just talking about... Well, it was basically the end of the interview anyway, to be fair.
Mate, you were getting 2 million to fight,
£2 million
fight HS
to fight
Toki Tiki.
HS Toki Tiki on Misfits Guitar. Yeah.
By the way, I've had a massive offer for Misfits.
Go on.
No, I'm not telling you.
Have you actually? No. Yeah, I don't know. Like, Misfits, if the dough was right...
Of course you'd do it.
Yes.
If the dough was right for anyone, they'd do it.
Precisely.
Everyone's got a price.
Precisely.
Yeah.
But other than that, it's a bit...
I would do it for a price.
But your price would be high?
Depends.
Because you know what you get elsewhere. Let's be real.
Depends who I'd be fighting, mate.
No, it doesn't.
It does.
But But I can't lie, I would have absolutely fucking ran to the bank.
100%. I'm here for you. I'll be your agent if you want.
Is that just because you want a percentage?
I don't want a percent. I'll do it for you out of pure joy and emotion and love.
That's very nice.
Look, I've always one thing you can't ever question me on. I've always supported you.
This man has always supported
Yeah.
me. I've almost felt at times like a little protege, and I actually said, "How do I get into your world?" And you said, "Trust me, you don't want to."
Yeah, exactly. So you're doing a much better job. You're on private jets with a cigar in them. Actually, got cigars in the cupboard. I'll give you one.
Do you?
Yeah. You're on private
on my balcony.
You're on private jets with cigars in your mouth. Like literally, you've changed a lot.
I haven't.
But you've managed to remain humble, which is good,
Thanks.
and you got to keep doing it.
This isn't the life I was meant to be in.
Of course it is.
But you enjoy
it's
it.
the life you're meant to be in because you're in it.
We blag it along the way.
Exactly. We're all bluffers.
I'm waiting for Hearn to be much more horrible to me tomorrow.
Good luck.
Francis, you're a legend. I have missed you in the Matchroom Circle, and I look forward to probably rinsing you for content every day this week.
Thank you, mate. Bye-bye.